In order to make your smoky barbecue sauce, you will need organic sun-dried tomatoes, a Old El Paso smoky barbecue fajita sachet, and some double concentrate tomatoes. Add your sun-dried tomatoes, about 5 or 6, to your mug, and add enough water to fill. I would say this mug is about a 1/4 cup. And leave that to soak for 10 minutes. Add your soaked tomatoes to your food processor. Add 2 to 3 tablespoons of tomato puree. And the whole packet of Old El Paso spice mix. Put the lid on and then blend it up. Once it's blended nice and smooth, you should have a nice thick puree that smells extremely barbecuey and very, very tasty. In order to make your meaty meatless filling, you will need 600 grams of baby button mushrooms, or any type of mushrooms that you can get your hands on, chestnut, white or larger white mushrooms. You'll also need a red pepper and half an onion. Peel and finely dice 1 red onion, half a red onion by the beg your pardon. Add it to a pan with a little splash of water. Turn up the heat to high until the water is sizzling away, and just keep an eye on it and add more water if necessary. Slice your mushrooms thinly and add them to your pot once your onions are translucent. Give them a stir and let them cook down. A lot of water will come out of the mushrooms, and you want that water to cook away before you add any other ingredients. This may take up to 20 minutes. See how much water is coming out of these mushrooms. You need to let that all mushrooms have lost most of their water. You see here that it's dropped considerably. You can add your diced red peppers. Cook that for a few minutes just to soften up the red pepper. Once your peppers had a few minutes to cook, add a couple of tablespoons of your barbecue sauce. Once thoroughly combined, put to the side and leave to cool until you're ready to use it for the layer. In order to form your Mexican lasagna style, you need to use a cake tin. I've got a springform tin here, and usually the bottom has the ridge facing up when you put it inside the tin, but to aid slicing later and removing the lasagna from the tin, if you flip it over, you've then got a flat surface to cut from and slide under your fish slice to take a slice out. So you flip it over, tighten the spring form, and the bottom's now turned over and you've got a flat surface to work with. Okay, so what you will need for your Mexican lasagna is some rice and beans. I made this yesterday. I soaked the beans overnight and then cooked them for an hour and a half in fresh water, and then I saved the cooking water and cooked the rice within it, adding a bit more water to make it up to the 2:1 ratio, and I mixed the two together. You will also need 4 plain tortilla wraps. I've got some sweetcorn in the fridge, so I'm going to add that. There's your Mexican smoky barbecue sauce. I've got some sieved tomatoes just to add to the rice to make it moist. I've also got some vegan cheese. I'll be using a little bit of that just to make the top nice and crispy, and I might put a bit through the layers as well just to make it creamy. And then I've got my meatless meat filling just in here, still cooling down. I shall show you the layers later on. Okay, I'm just going to preheat the oven to 200 and a bit. I've got the tin on a tray just in case it leaks, just in caseies. I'm going to start with a wrap and then add a bit of sauce. This is just blitzed up tomatoes. Let's just make it a bit more moist. Put some rice. Enough?
Yep.
Okay. Attempt to get it evenish. Cheese. Make it nice and creamy and saucy. Like a bit of saucy. Another wrap. And then some of this?
Yep. Lots.
Lots of this.
Lots of lots.
I called this the Meaty Meatless filling. Enough? A bit more?
Yeah, let's just see what that is.
Thank you for your help, dear.
No problem.
Sweetcorn, sauce and sweetcorn. So this is the barbecue sauce I made earlier. Just I added some to the mushrooms anyway, but just to add a bit more flavour. Add a bit more. Right. Sweet corn. I'm gonna use up the sweet corn. Wrap. Squeeze. Mushy. Rice. Oops, sauce.
Tomato.
Yeah. Cool. Okay, so it's been in now for about 40 minutes? 50 minutes?
50.
50 minutes at 210-ish, 220. It's quite deep, so it needed to be in that long. Hot Netflix. Put some tin foil on the top because it was starting to brown too quickly, so I would suggest putting tin foil on it before you put it in the oven and then taking it off the last 10 minutes. So now I'm going to leave that to sit with the tin foil back on for 10 minutes just to let everything settle, means it will slice better. Okay. It's now sat for 10 minutes. We're going to chance it by taking the cover off and see if it holds. I imagine some of this stuff's going to come out because the so far so good. Ooh. The layers. Right, it's going to be whether it slices now. Okay, Little Helper has had the bright idea of slicing it whilst it's in the case. Having said that though, it loosened when I opened it. I don't think that's going to work. I'm not going to get the tin over.
Aren't you?
Okay, Okay. Right, slice. Is your Mexican vegan tortilla lasagna.